Next idiom is, he was economical with the truth in the meeting. This phrase describes someone who deliberately avoids telling the complete truth, often by omitting crucial details or presenting information in a way that creates a misleading impression, without necessarily uttering an outright falsehood. It's like being frugal with the facts. The concept became particularly well known in political circles in the late 20th century, highlighting a subtle way to be untruthful. Let's look at how this idiom is used. In our first example, the politician was accused of being economical with the truth during the press conference about the new policy. The politician isn't telling outright lies, but is carefully selecting what information to reveal, potentially to make the policy sound better than it is, or to avoid scrutiny. Our second example, when asked about his whereabouts, he was economical with the truth. Leaving out the parts that would cause trouble shows a more personal context. Here, someone is intentionally omitting details that could lead to negative consequences, perhaps exaggerating or downplaying aspects of their story. Both examples perfectly illustrate how someone can mislead without directly fabricating a falsehood.
While economical with the truth implies a deliberate withholding or selective presentation, other phrases like bend the truth mean to slightly distort facts, often for a minor advantage or to avoid trouble, perhaps less formal or serious. Prevaricate is a more formal verb meaning to speak or act in an evasive way, avoiding direct answers or making excuses. While both bend the truth and prevaricate involve not being entirely honest, economical with the truth specifically highlights the careful, sparing use of facts, often to manage perceptions strategically. To wrap up, he was economical with the truth in the meeting means someone deliberately omitted facts or presented information misleadingly without outright lying. Originating from the careful, sparing use of something valuable, this idiom highlights a calculated form of dishonesty. Remember, it's about what's not said, or how what is said is framed, rather than outright fabrication. Use this idiom to describe situations where someone cleverly avoids full transparency. It's a nuanced way to call out a lack of honesty. I'll see you next time with another great expression.
Next idiom is, they gained a first-mover advantage in the market. This phrase means a company secured a significant benefit by being the first to introduce a product or service. Its origin is rooted in modern business strategy and economic theory from the late 20th century, highlighting how early market entry can secure a powerful competitive lead. Let's look at how we use this. Netflix gained a significant first-mover advantage by launching their streaming service years before competitors. This shows early entry builds a strong brand. Another example, the startup's innovative app secured a first-mover advantage, quickly dominating its niche. Both illustrate that being the initial entrant provides a crucial, lasting competitive edge in various markets.
Let's explore similar expressions. The early bird gets the worm emphasizes being prompt, but is broader. Pioneering advantage is very close, referring to benefits reaped by innovators. While first-mover advantage is a formal business term, pioneering advantage offers a slightly more active sense of innovation. Use first-mover advantage for competitive market dynamics. To wrap up, they gained a first-mover advantage in the market, describes the significant edge a company achieves by being the initial market entrant. This concept, central to modern business strategy, highlights how early action can lead to market dominance and lasting success. Understanding this phrase helps analyze competitive landscapes and appreciate strategic timing in business. I'll see you next time with another great expression.
Next idiom is don't gild the lily. The design is already perfect. This means you shouldn't try to improve something already perfect or beautiful, as it could spoil its original charm. The phrase originates from Shakespeare's King John, initially, paint the lily, highlighting the folly of unnecessary embellishment. Let's look at some examples. First, the simple elegance of this painting is its strength. Don't gild the lily with a flashy frame. The painting's natural beauty needs no elaborate additions. Second, our proposal is strong as it is. Let's not gild the lily by adding too many minor details now. This warns against overcomplicating an already solid plan with unnecessary refinements.
Similar phrases include less is more, advocating for simplicity. Over-egg the pudding is very close, meaning to spoil something by adding excessive, unnecessary elements. Both caution against overdoing, mirroring the idea of potentially ruining something already perfect. In summary, don't gild the lily encourages appreciating inherent perfection. It reminds us to leave things as they are, valuing their original beauty without adding superfluous elements. Let intrinsic excellence shine through naturally. I'll see you next time with another great expression.
Next idiom is I made a guesstimate of the costs. It means making an approximate calculation or judgment, often blending intuition with limited data. This term is a clever portmanteau, combining guess and estimate. It describes arriving at a rough figure when precision isn't possible, acting as an educated guess. Let's see guesstimate in action. First, I can't give you exact numbers, but my guesstimate for the project's duration is about 6 weeks. This offers a reasonable, informed guess when precise data is unavailable. Second, the mechanic gave me a guesstimate of the repair costs, saying it would be around 500, illustrates a preliminary approximation. Both demonstrate giving a rough yet sensible figure.
Similar terms are rough estimate and educated guess. Rough estimate is nearly synonymous, suggesting a non-precise figure. Educated guess highlights approximation based on knowledge. Guesstimate uniquely blends informal guessing with estimating intent, making it playfully functional. In summary, I made a guesstimate of the costs means offering an informal yet informed approximation, blending intuition with limited data, practical when precision isn't feasible. Use this term to clearly convey a reasonable ballpark figure, sounding casual and confident. I'll see you next time with another great expression.
Next idiom is the new intern was very gung-ho about the project. This phrase describes someone who is extremely enthusiastic, eager, and committed to a task or goal, showing great zeal and dedication. The term gung-ho originates from World War II. It was adopted by U.S. Marine Corps Lieutenant Colonel Evans Carlson, who learned the Chinese phrase gong hei, meaning work together, from Chinese industrial cooperatives. He used it to instill a spirit of cooperation and enthusiasm among his troops, particularly in Carlson's raiders. This spirit of eager teamwork became synonymous with being gung-ho. Let's look at how gung-ho is used in context. Our first example is, the new intern was very gung-ho about the project, eager to learn and contribute from day one. Here, gung-ho perfectly captures the intern's high energy and readiness to jump into action. They aren't just interested, they are actively passionate and determined. Another great example is, despite the unexpected difficulties, the marketing team remained gung-ho about launching the new product on schedule. This shows gung-ho in a situation where initial enthusiasm could wane, but the team's commitment stays strong. It emphasizes resilience and unwavering drive even when faced with obstacles, highlighting a persistent, positive attitude towards achieving a goal.
When we want to express similar ideas, we have a couple of good options. First, eager beaver describes someone who is extremely diligent and enthusiastic, often used for newcomers who are keen to prove themselves. While similar to gung-ho, eager beaver often implies a bit more focus on hard work and perhaps a less intense, all-consuming passion. Second, enthusiastic is a straightforward adjective that conveys strong interest and excitement. It's a direct synonym for gung-ho, though gung-ho often carries a stronger sense of active, almost zealous commitment, especially in a team or mission-oriented context. To sum up, gung-ho is an excellent idiom to describe someone who is exceptionally enthusiastic, eager, and committed to a task. Remember its origins in the Chinese phrase, work together, and its adoption by the U.S. Marines, which gives it a powerful sense of collective spirit and determined action. Next time you see someone really throwing themselves into a project with great energy and passion, you can accurately describe them as gung-ho. It's a vivid way to praise their dedication and drive. Keep practicing these idioms to make your English more expressive. I'll see you next time with another great expression.
Next idiom is managing this team is like herding cats. It vividly describes the challenge of leading a group of highly independent individuals who resist direction. This colloquial expression emerged in the 20th century America, reflecting the inherent difficulty of organizing many uncooperative felines. This idiom paints a clear picture. Let's see some examples. First, getting all the stakeholders to agree on a single vision for the project was like herding cats. Everyone had their own agenda. This highlights its use in a professional project management context where individual interests diverge. Secondly, the kindergarten teacher often feels like she's herding cats during playtime, with children running in every direction. Here, it illustrates managing energetic young children. Both cases show the challenge of controlling uncooperative entities.
Similar expressions exist. Trying to nail jelly to a wall emphasizes a task's utter impossibility or futility, often due to its abstract nature. A wild goose chase describes a pointless pursuit. While similar, herding cats focuses on the difficulty of managing independent entities, not just general task futility. In summary, managing this team is like herding cats, perfectly captures the challenge of leading independent or uncooperative individuals. Rooted in the visual of unruly felines, it vividly expresses organizational difficulty. Remember this idiom when a group won't follow your lead, and you'll clearly communicate your predicament. I'll see you next time with another great expression.
Next idiom is the contract is clear in black and white. This means something is explicitly written or printed, leaving no room for doubt. It emphasizes undeniable clarity in a document. The phrase comes from the visual contrast of black ink on white paper, long symbolizing precise official information. Let's see it in action. First, the rules for the competition are in black and white on the website, so there's no confusion. The rules are clearly documented. Second, before you sign, make sure all the terms are in black and white and you fully understand them. This stresses having critical information explicitly written to prevent misunderstandings.
Other expressions for clarity include crystal clear, meaning very easy to understand, like, her instructions were crystal clear. Set in stone implies something fixed and unchangeable, as in, the new policy is set in stone. In black and white emphasizes written clarity. These alternatives cover broader certainty or finality in decisions. To summarize, in black and white means something is undeniably clear because it's written or printed. Rooted in text's visual certainty, it emphasizes official, documented information beyond dispute. Use it to stress the definitive nature of written details, ensuring everyone understands the information is certain and unambiguous. I'll see you next time with another great expression.
Our next idiom is he's a jack of all trades, master of none. This phrase describes someone who is competent at many things but truly excellent at none. The jack in this expression refers to a common man, and trades signifies skills or professions. The longer version, including master of none, appeared in the late 16th century, famously associated with Robert Greene's criticism of William Shakespeare. It highlights the potential downside of breadth without depth, often used when someone tries too many things without specializing. Let's see how this idiom plays out in real-world sentences. Our first example is, my colleague enjoys coding, painting, and playing guitar, but he's a jack of all trades, master of none, rarely finishing a project perfectly. Here, the idiom points out that despite his diverse hobbies, he lacks mastery. In our second example, she can fix a leaky faucet, bake a cake, and even do basic car repairs. Truly, she's a jack of all trades, master of none. The phrase describes someone with a wide range of practical skills. In both cases, the idiom emphasizes versatility without deep expertise.
While he's a jack of all trades, master of none captures a broad skill set without deep expertise. Other phrases offer subtle nuances. A dabbler suggests someone who engages in an activity superficially, often for pleasure, without serious commitment to mastery. A dilettante carries a slightly more negative connotation, implying someone who takes up an art or area of knowledge superficially. Our idiom is more neutral or even slightly admiring of the breadth, while dabbler and dilettante usually lean towards criticism of the lack of depth. To recap, he's a jack of all trades, master of none describes a person who is capable in many areas, but not a specialist in any. Originating in the 16th century English, this phrase acknowledges a person's versatility while hinting at their lack of singular expertise. It's useful for both appreciating someone's broad abilities and gently pointing out the absence of deep specialization. Use it to describe someone with a wide but shallow skill set, whether you mean it as a compliment or a slight critique. I'll see you next time with another great expression.
Next idiom is, many employees jumped ship after the scandal. To jump ship means to leave a company or situation quickly, often due to trouble or dissatisfaction. It originates from nautical terms referring to sailors deserting a vessel, particularly one in distress. This evokes a strong image of abandoning a failing endeavor. Let's see this in action. First, when the startup ran into financial difficulties, several key developers jumped ship for more stable roles. This shows individuals abandoning a struggling company. Second, after the coach was fired, many star players considered jumping ship to other teams. Both convey leaving a problematic situation to seek better prospects, often for self-preservation.
Similar expressions include bailout and desert. Bailout implies leaving a difficult situation, often to save oneself, and can also refer to financial rescue. Desert, a more formal term, usually means abandoning a duty or responsibility, carrying a stronger negative connotation. While related, jump ship specifically emphasizes a swift, decisive departure from a failing enterprise or group. To recap, many employees jumped ship after the scandal means people abruptly left a troubled organization. This vivid phrase, rooted in nautical history, describes individuals quickly abandoning a failing venture or problematic environment. Use it to convey a rapid, self-preserving exodus from difficult circumstances, emphasizing urgency and self-interest in such departures. I'll see you next time with another great expression.
Next idiom is, the contractor offered a kickback for the contract. This phrase describes a situation where an illegal payment is made in return for a special favor, often to secure a contract or business deal. Essentially, it's a secret commission or bribe. The origin of kickback comes from the world of commerce and bribery in 19th century American English, referring to the act of kicking back a portion of illicit gains. It vividly portrays money secretly diverted from its legitimate path, emphasizing the underhanded nature of the transaction. Understanding this idiom helps us recognize corrupt practices. Let's explore some examples to see how kickback is used. Our first example is, the corrupt politician was caught accepting a kickback from the construction company for public projects. Here, the politician illegally received money from the company in exchange for granting them a contract. This clearly illustrates the illicit nature of a kickback in the public sector. Now consider our second example. Offering a kickback for exclusive distribution rights is a serious ethical and legal violation in any industry. This shows that kickbacks aren't just limited to government dealings. They can occur in the private sector too, undermining fair competition. In both scenarios, a kickback refers to an under-the-table payment to gain an unfair advantage.
When we look for similar expressions, bribe is very close to kickback. A bribe is typically money or a favor offered to influence someone's conduct, often interchangeable with kickback when describing illegal influence. However, a kickback often implies a return of a portion of the money or profit gained from the favor itself, like a secret commission. Illicit payment, on the other hand, is a broader term encompassing any payment that is illegal or unauthorized. While all kickbacks are illicit payments and often bribes, kickback highlights that specific mechanism of returning a portion of the gains. To recap, the contractor offered a kickback for the contract means an illegal payment was made, often as a secret commission, to secure a deal or favor. Rooted in 19th century commercial dealings, it describes the act of kicking back a share of illegal profits. While similar to a bribe or illicit payment, kickback specifically points to that under-the-table return of funds. Understanding this term helps us recognize and discuss unethical practices in business and politics. So, the next time you hear about a kickback, you'll know it's about a clandestine payment to gain an unfair advantage. I'll see you next time with another great expression.